Hi, I want to talk to you today about your belief system in healing your multiple sclerosis. Hi, my name is Adrienne Scharli. I'm a nutritional health coach certified, and I want to let you know that your belief system is part of your healing. And I want to tell you a couple stories. And I wrote a book. It's called The Path to Reverse Multiple Sclerosis Naturally. And I have a chapter in my book that talks about Dr. Joe Dispenza. And he has an incredible story. He is pretty darn famous. He does seminars. He's all over YouTube. He's got, you can find him all over Google. He's got a website. He does seminars and he helps people heal with their mind. And I know this is possible because this not only helped me heal with my MS, but it helped me heal with something else. And I'm going to tell you that story in a minute. But first, I want to tell you about Joe Dispenza. He has a story, and I talk about it in my book, but you can also Google or go to YouTube and find an interview with him, and he'll tell you his story. But here's basically how it went. When he was in his, I think he was late 20s, early 30s, I think, when he was in a triathlon and he was turning a corner on his bike and he was hit head on with another vehicle. And he was thrown off of the bike and landed on his back on the concrete or street. And he basically broke his back. He damaged most of his vertebrae, especially his T8, his 8 thoracic vertebrae, and he had bone fragments. Anyway, he was a mess. He couldn't walk. He was basically paralyzed. And he went to 4 different doctors, and all of these doctors said that, well, we can't guarantee that you're ever going to walk again, but your best hope is most likely going to be a Harrington rod surgery, meaning that Harrington rod basically replaces your backbone. And they said, even then, we can't guarantee that you're going to walk again. So he wasn't sure what he was going to do. He went home and he thought about it for a while, and he thought, I am going to try to heal my own body with my mind. He was a chiropractor at the time, and so he knew basically the physical workings and structure of the body. And what he did was he would lay in bed, and for about 3 hours a day, and he has this in his book and he talks about this, he would think about how his body was going to reconfigure and reconstruct his backbone and heal it. And for a couple weeks, he thought about doing this for about 3 hours a day. And then later on, a couple weeks later, he did this procedure thinking about healing his body for about 45 minutes a day. And then 10 and a half weeks later, he was walking. And about 12 weeks later, he was training again on a bike. So the power of your mind and your belief system are so incredibly powerful. And I want to tell people how powerful they really are. Anyway, I'm going to tell another story about me, not having to do with MS, although that was part of my healing, believing that I can heal. But I, at one point, about 5 years ago, I had a growth on the bottom of my right breast. And it was a physical growth that you can see. It was about as big as your thumb, right? And it really wasn't a blister. Part of it was tissue. And so what I did first off was see a dermatologist. And she took a sample of it, sent it in. We wanted to make sure it wasn't cancerous, and it was not, thank God. But then I went in again, and she basically did a procedure in the office and took it off. And it did heal. It took about 3 weeks or so, and I had a little bit of a scar. But I was happy it was gone, and life went on, right? And about 2 years after that, it grew again, and it grew right over the scar tissue, and I had it again. And I thought, okay, I guess I better hire or find a plastic surgeon that can maybe get down to the root of this thing and cut it out, and hopefully that will be the end of it. So I did find a doctor that I liked and had the procedure, went under full surgery to get that done. And again, that healed in about 3.5 weeks, and I had the same scar tissue again. And I thought, okay, this is great. This is not gonna come back, and life went on. Well, not too much later, actually it was about 2 or 3 weeks later after I healed from that surgery, that it grew back again. And I thought, this is crazy. I thought this was gone for sure, and it wasn't. So I thought, I remember Joe Dispenza's story and how he healed his back. And I thought, I'm gonna lay in bed 5 minutes before I go to sleep and 5 minutes after I wake up, and I am going to think about how this little growth or tumor or whatever you want to call it is going to shrink. It's going to heal. It's going to get smaller and smaller. These are the things that I had said in my mind during this time. And I said, my body knows how to heal itself. This tumor or growth is going to go away. My body knows how to repair itself. And I kept just thinking these thoughts, again, right before I went to sleep and 5 minutes when I woke up that next morning. And 2 weeks later, I realized that this growth was shrinking. And I thought, my God, this is really working. And I kept doing it until it totally healed. And so I know that if you have a belief and you put something like that into practice, healing not only MS, but whatever chronic disease that you might have or any issue you might have, this works. Now, I want to tell you that healing MS was a lot more than thinking it away in that sense. I did, however, when I was healing from MS, I did remember Joe's story, and I did picture a white light going through my body and really focusing on certain parts of my body that I wanted healed. So that was part of my healing. Now, it was my diet, it was exercise, it was getting rid of trauma, it was a lot of other things, but I want to tell you that belief is huge. I did a survey on a Facebook MS page that I created a while ago, but I did a survey and I wanted to find out how many people believed that they could heal from this disease. And only about 50% said that they believed that healing from this disease is possible. So you've got to believe that you can do it. Your body is listening to you. Your body listens to your thoughts. And if you want to reach out to me, if you would like to work with me, for example, you can go to my website, nourishaway.com or info@nourishaway.com, and we can chat. And if you think I can help you, I would be honored. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to talk to you soon.